What's going on YouTube? It is Primitive here, and today I am bringing you a blue flare deck list that my boy Winter won a store championship with. Now, as you know, I have been a bit of a hater of blue flare this format, but Winter's list I thought was very cool. It's been something that me and my team have been very interested in. We've been messing with ourselves, and it's just something that I thought really kind of improved the deck a lot. And so when I saw the list, I went ahead and messaged him and asked if he would be willing to bring the list, and so he did. So big shout out to Winter. But yeah, if you want to go ahead and give yourself a little introduction.
Awesome, thanks, Prim. Yeah, no, I'm really excited to be here. Shout out to my channel, Hard Rock TCG. I haven't done a video in a long time, but I want to get things kind of going with that again. So shout out there, and I'm looking forward to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if you have any other shout outs or anything else you want to say, or you can just go into it. You can maybe, if you have any thoughts about what your thoughts on the deck were when you were building it or going into it.
So it's kind of funny. So I didn't play for like a couple weeks after BT9 because I was just getting tired of the format, and then BT10 came along, and I was like, oh, I want to try all these decks. So last week I played Crossheart, and I thought it was fun, but I also thought it like a little bit too like, I don't know, it felt kind of like boring because like the combo kind of felt kind of the same. You do the same thing, but I like Armor Rush and I like Blue Hybrids, so Blue Flare kind of felt like a fusion of the two. So I decided to play it for the store championship last Sunday, and I was still just kind of figuring out the deck, and I was like, oh, MagnamonX is one of my favorite cards, and like you have the option to play it in this deck because it's blue and you have X-Antibody, and then you have the armor purge. So I was like, oh, like I'll play it, and then nothing in Crossheart can get over it because I was just so worried about like Crossheart being such a huge thing for Blue Flare, and then you just have this wall. So I think it's really cool, and I'm excited to show you guys. So I can go. I'll just go into it here. So for starters, we have my favorite egg. It's the 4 Upamon. It needs no introduction. When attacking once per turn, it is a Digimon. No digivolution cards on your opponent's side. You draw a card. It's it's definitely the best. I know some people talk about the Baby Dough, which I play one of, kind of doing like a 3-2 split or even 4-1, but I absolutely think that Upamon is by far the better egg, and Baby Dough definitely makes a good fit. So that's the egg lineup there. Next is the best Blue Flare rookie, the only Blue Flare rookie right now, the Gaussmon. So this is great for on deletion. You get to play level 4 with Blue Flare right out, so it's really good, and they all have on play effects, so you can just kind of play them, and it's 1,000 DP. So unless it's a Tamer or something like an option card or whatever, it's gonna die. So you're gonna get a lot of value off of that. This one was the biggest kind of decision for me here, and I did a 3-3 split of the Madoki and the Siako. Now Madoki's very obviously the better rookie out of the two, but there's a lot of Maste at like our local scene in Connecticut here. That's where I'm from, and even Jessmon with the reduction, I was kind of like, let me go 3-3 just to see how I liked it, and quite honestly, like the Siakomon actually did come up in one round against Maste, and it was great. But I definitely have moved over to playing 4 of the Madoki now. But it was really good at the time, and it actually did come in handy. But I feel like right now these are the two best other rookies to play. Personally, I thought about I don't know if play Vmon because Vmon just doesn't die, and then if you're playing the mirror, then you just have another target for them for the effects because you need 2 or more. So. But yeah, this is the pretty much the lineup now, the 4 and 2. But this was 3-3, and it was really good.
Yeah, I remember I even messaged you. I think even before I asked you to do the profile, I was just like, "What does Siako hit?"
Yeah, it's something. Yeah, it's one of those things where like we don't, like we're just waiting on the other Blue Flare rookies. So in the time being, it's like one of the better ones, or this like Snow Agio or something like that. But I thought it would come in handy, and somehow it did. So next, the level 4s, the Greymon, which is super insane. If you guys have looked at Blue Flare at all, or have played it yet or whatever, it's you get pretty much a real top 4, and you grab 2 Blue Flare cards from them, and then you also have the option too of grabbing. If you have Carry High, you can grab a Metal Gray back from trash. So it just kind of that's the whole thing. Point of the deck is recurring that Metal Gray because that card is so good. And then the inheritable, when attacking, if this Digimon has blue flare in its traits and your opponent has Torment Digimon in play, you can unsuspend. So it's actually a really cool combo that I can talk about later too. That's really cool. You can get like a lot of swings. So that's one set of the 4s there, and then we have the Mailbird, which is very weirdly evasive. Like it's for some reason I don't know why. Maybe it's me, but like I have a
I definitely think I feel that for sure.
Like it's weird. Like I find like I always get like the multiple Greymon, but then the Mailbird is like the really invasive one. So I don't know what's going on there, but it's great because you can just play, if you play this and you don't have a Kirihao, you can just play them, or if you have a Kirihao, you can just grab the Metal Gray back. So it's just more recursion for the combo. And then the one attacking is if your opponent has 2 or more, you can just outright freeze something. So it's really good. On top of having the Metal Gray effects, you can just like freezing boards with it, and it's amazing. Next is this card is like super versatile, and I really like it a lot. It's the Decker Dramon, and you can just, so like Gaussmon dies, you play this card. So the on play is, you can just play regular for 5 too, but on play draw 1 card, and then after that for each Digimon your opponent has in play, you draw a card. So for wide boards like Jessmon or like Crossheart, sometimes they'll get like 3-4 guys out. You're just drawing a ton of cards, so it's the deck has some insane value. But I think the slept on part of this card is actually the inheritable. It's an all turns effect, so it's all turns when your opponent has 2 or more Digimon in play. This Digimon gets 1,000. So it's all turns, which is just like super sneaky. It just reminds me of Shaomon and Armor Rush, which I love that card. But it doesn't. You don't have to have the blue flare to activate the effect too. So like that's kind of the hidden thing. So like if you just have MagnamonX out and they swing and they think it's an 11. Like you have the all turns effect. So I think that's kind of sneaky there, and that's one of my favorite parts about the card is you just have that extra buff. So it can really come in handy, especially like new in the format when people haven't really like fully learned the cards yet. You know what I mean? You have that little thing there. So you get the buff, which is really nice. So this card's really good, especially getting it off of Gauss, like, and then being able to play it. It's just, the value is just insane.
I mean, we see that even now with things like Middle Garurumon X deck, where you have like I think it's the Gabumon and the Garurumon that have the all turns plus 1k, and then that just changes it up so much.
So it's the all turns. Those get you. The extra DP, like 1,000 whatever, it matters. It's super good.
Right.
So next to level 5s, the best card in the deck, best Digimon anyway, the Metal Greymon. So this is on play, gains Rush, and then you can freeze up to 3 of your opponent's Digimon that have the equal to or less sources than it. So and it has Digicross -2. So if you have Greymon and Male Bergermon, you can make this card cost 3. And you're gonna be set to 3 most of the time because if you have a Tamer out or whatever, and so you play this for 3, and then you're stunning 3 things, and then or up to 3 things, and then you can when you put the Metal Gray and Mailbird, the Mailbird also like this. The Mailbird also lets you freeze something else. So it's really good, and that's not dependent on the amount of sources either. So you could just outright freeze something. So you're freezing potentially 4 things if you have both the sources. So it's just like super good. It's so fun to be able to do that, and just like people are like, they get like flashbacks of of the blue hybrid,
Going that Korikaku into Beowulf. Swing, stun with Tommy, bounce back. Oh, beautiful.
It's so good. Yeah, it's so good. And then also too, it's material save too. So there's going to be 2 sources under it. So you just like you just can put them right back under and do it all over again. Under the Tamer, under the Kirihao, which I'm going to profile as well. But yeah, the Metal Gray is just super good, and there's so many ways to recur it, which is just so good. Next is 4 Deckers. I was considering playing this at 3 and putting a Death X in for the day, but I didn't. I like it at 4, and honestly, the Armor Purge is just so good too. And so this is on play when Digivolving, and it also has Digicross. But on play when Digivolving, you can place 1 Digimon card with blue Thermos traits under it, and then if it's Decker, you can if it's a Decker Dramon, you can just you can outright freeze something as well. So you get the extra freeze. There's so many ways to just freeze, not dependent on sources that your opponent has. So it's really good. the combo I was mentioning earlier, because now that I've showed Decker, you can go like this. So you play out the Metal Gray. This is dependent on having 2 or more sources, but you play out the Metal Gray. Where is it here? So let's say you Digicross for 3, right? So you go like that, and then you swing. They have 2 or more. You unsuspend, and then you can Digivolve Decker on top, put another Greymon under, and then swing unsuspend. So you can get like multiple checks. It's insane. And if you finish it off with like a, the next card, or like Magna, which I'm playing in the deck, it's just a pretty insane combo. You can get a roll going, and then like freezing stuff too. So it's pretty good. So yeah, and then it has Digicross too. -2 for each. So if you put Metal Gray and Decker underneath, you can cost 5 if you just want to like hard play it too. So it's super versatile. Like you have a lot of options with it, which is nice. Then my favorite card, the Spice, was the Magnamon X-Antibody. For those that recognize me in the video, you know that Armor Rush is my favorite deck.
Yeah, I was about to say, I can't see this card without thinking about you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's super good, and basically for those that don't know what it does, if you didn't play last format or are new to the game, like opponent's turn, when your opponent's Digimon attacks, if you have an Armor Form or X-Antibody in its traits, you can just redirect the attack to it. You don't need to suspend it. It's not like a blocker. It always is like that. So the Decker doesn't have Armor Form in its traits. None of the Digimon do. That's why you have to play the option, which you already see here, which I'm going to show next. So it's really good. And then all turns, when this Digimon will be deleted, you can place the top card of this security stack face down. So you basically just recover 1, which is nice. And it's pretty cool too, because even if the only way, so like Crossheart, right? So the only way that Crossheart can get around this card with normal text in the deck is a Sunrise Buster. So what's kind of cool is if you build a stack and a Sunrise Buster, let's say you have it on top of the Decker Gray, and then you have Metal Gray underneath, they Sunrise Buster and kill it. It goes in your security stack. You Armor Purge the Decker. You go into back to Metal, and then it dies, but you can material save. So that's really good too. So you can just put the sources right under again, and then you're ready to go. So it's just so good. It's just funny how like I never, like in Armor Rush, like we don't play X-Antibody, but now you actually have a way to play the MagnamonX and play X-Antibody. So it's kind of funny. You have to play to get the effect. But yeah, it's just super good. The card's amazing.
How often is it that something like the Magna gets deleted and you put it on top security, and then you go back down to Decker or Metal, and then you go back into another Magna on the same stack? Does that happen often, or does it usually, when it goes up to Magna, that's when it gets hit with like the removal type stuff?
Yeah, that's when it gets. I actually haven't had that happen where I've gone back into another Magna yet anyway. So I don't know, but that's definitely a possibility. If I did it on that same turn, because typically what I've done is like I've been at 3, and then I go Metal. Yeah, I go Metal. I put the X-Antibody underneath. I attack. I unsuspend, and then no. I attack. Sorry. So I attack. I unsuspend, and then I do the attack, and then I go into the MagnamonX after that. And then typically I'm always passing it over because I'm not getting like an absolute ton of memory, so it hasn't come up. But that's definitely like I could definitely like see that, like that would be really good, to have that extra Magna play. But I haven't.
Well, I guess what I was kind of thinking is like, do people like swing over the Magna, the effect happens, and then you Magna again at the same stack? Or in this metagame, do you feel like whenever you go into Magna, that's when you kind of hit by your opponent's like big removal cards? Because I'm sure you usually pass turn with it. But I know that you have 3 X-Antibody options to 3 Magnas. So I was gonna say, do you feel that the 3 X-Antibody is necessary just so that you see it, or do you feel like there are games where you kind of put multiple Magnas on the same stack and kind of reuse that same X-Antibody under that one stack?
See, I see what you're saying. Yeah, no, I find that typically they're killing it by having to actually remove it. Especially because like I've been playing against a lot of Crossheart, so the only way they can remove it is by doing that. So
Yeah.
my stack is pretty much gone. My stack is pretty much gone when they do that. I haven't had a matchup yet. I mean, to be fair, I haven't really seen the Magna often gets bottomed. That's the thing too. Like Magna is really cool, but it does often get like either bottomed or like it, like I don't see it as much as I like. Thankfully, I was able to see it in the last round of the tournament when I played Crossheart. But yeah, so typically it usually dies by like a Sunrise Buster or some kind of removal where I don't get the opportunity to go into it again. I see what you're saying. Yeah. So.
Cool. Yeah, that's something that I was wondering personally, so I figured I'd ask.
Yeah, the format's still young though. The format's still young, Prim, so we got a lot of time.
Oh yeah.
We got time. So yeah, 3 X-Antibody to go along with it, just so I could see them to be able to use the Magna. And it's cool too, because like it isn't just completely useless. Like there are times where it's 50% of a Hammer Spark, so I could gain the memory, and that did actually come up one time as well, where it did pass turn, so it's nice to have. I've since cut down 1-1, which I'll explain in the changes, but just because like it's really good when you want to see it, but I don't think it's really like a good like a 3-3 like staying that. I wanted to do some other things, but still it's still the combo's still really good. Like it helped me a lot. So best option in the deck. The Blazing Memory Boost, I can't believe, like, I'm still, like, when I read this card for the first time, like, I didn't really pay much attention to it when it came out in the Japanese release, but just looking at it, I was like, wow, this is, like, insanely strong. So you just look at top 6, grab 2 Blue Flare, and then you can just play a Kiriha right out. There's no stipulation, you can just literally play it out. So if you already have a Kiriha, you can just play it. So, that being said, though, if you only reveal a Kiriha and like let's say you have 1 Blue Flare, 1 Kiriha, you have to add both to hand. You can't do like 1 to hand and then play the Kiriha. So
I was gonna mention that, so I'm glad you did.
Yeah. So that's fine though. I mean, in the day, like even if I get a Kiriha to hand, it's still value and everything, and then you pop it, gain 2.
Yeah, you just played off Mailbird, man.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. You just played off Mailbird, you're good to go. Yeah, that's insane. 2 of the Howling Memory Boost, because it's cool to freeze things or drop off sources, especially from like, big Crossheart stacks, like the X5s, so they can't like, reuse them again. That actually came up where my opponent put out the Cross 5, and I had, just to remove sources, and then I swung at it, and then they couldn't save a lot of stuff, so that was really cool. I've since cut these for Kitus Breath because I like him a little bit more, but the Howling was still really good, and honestly, the extra memory, even just out of security and just, or just playing it, freezing someone, having the memory was really nice, for sure. But, yeah, brings me back to Blue Hybrid days. So, this tech card here, Forbidden Trident, it's funny, how it's supposed to be used, and how the card reads is, is from BT6 here. When one of your Digimon gets plus 2,000 DP and when attacking, return one of your opponent's level 3 to its owner's hand, and you trash all the sources. So, what this is, what I played this for is for like, Solarmon, Chikurimon, and Psychmon. And what's kind of cool with Blue Flare is like if they have like multiple level 3s, if you're unsuspending, you can just keep going. It's not a once per turn. It's a just like when attacking. So that's really nice. Honestly, what I've been using this mostly for is just a way to put the opponent at 1 sometimes. Like if against Crosshair, they don't have a memory tamer out, and you're making it hard for them and you're choking them. Like, honestly, just playing this to put your opponent to 1 has been how I've been using this card, like, most of the time.
That's funny.
So yeah, I kind of want to take it out, but it's either this or the BT or the ST1 Greymon, the security attack +1. But I'm kind of up in the air about that. I'm not sure what I'm doing with that yet. And then your favorite card here, we got Ice Wall. Best
Shout out Team Ice Wall.
yeah. I mean, this card's just insane.
That's the best card in the game right there.
Literally. Like I don't know how Japan had 4 of that card for so long.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
And then last but not least, the Tamers here. 4 Kirion, of course, and then 2 Soren Joe. Because stripping sources is relevant, freezing stuff is relevant with the deck and everything, and then the extra memory is great too. That lets you get like some sweet plays there. If you go to 5, you can Metal Gray and Decker in the same turn, and then swing and go into Magna. So it's really cool. It's cool. I like the Tamer lineup here. I don't think I changed that at all.
Yeah, Sorjo is just really consistent too with how much stunning in the deck, so you want to keep the stun going and get that extra memory, and then if you get 2 on the board at the same time, it's like you go to 7 every turn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's so good. Now a couple of changes because I played that for the store championship on Sunday the 23rd. There was a store championship on Monday, and I played this again. I went X1. And I did make a couple changes. So I took out one X-Antibody and one Magna for 2 Def X. That was one thing I was definitely missing. Thankfully, I don't know. I thought I wanted to be like more consistent and have the X-Antibody and Magna. So I wanted to have 3/3, but just because the likelihood of seeing Cross Art was pretty high, so I wanted to have that. But I just kind of realized that having the Def X is just way better.
Yeah.
And chances are like cutting one X-Antibody down and cutting one Magna down is not gonna like. It's not going to be like too crazy of a change where like that's going to make a big difference. So, and thankfully it's still been good, and I like the Def X's. And then I mentioned earlier I took out the 2 Howlings for 2 Cocytus Breath because one of the things I thought of too is like having the mirror and having the Magna X on the opponent's side is really annoying, and I want to have Cocytus Breath not only to bounce like that, but just like everything that especially because if you're going to like 3 then 5 or even just 3. Bouncing it and putting them at 4, if they have a memory tamer, it's not that much more. So, and obviously you want to see insecurity. That's where you want to see it, so.
Right.
I like that. And then I just played the Madoki, 4 Madoki, 2 Siako.
Right.
Because, Madoki's just much better. I just was kind of like, let me play 3 just to be safe.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, the Madoki's just good.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, that's the deck. That's the changes. I'm probably gonna play this for the rest of the week, and then next week I'm gonna try out Bloom Lord because that's still one deck I haven't really explored or know anything about.
Bloom Lord time, baby.
That's right. Yeah, we're trying that out next. But yeah, Bloom Lord is really fun. I definitely like it a lot. I know we get some tools. I think we only get one thing in EX3. What is it, Sorai? I think Sorai is the only thing that we get.
Yeah, that card's insane though.
Yeah, strip 4 sources, freeze everything.
Yeah.
No sources, yeah.
Yeah, that card's insane. But thank you so much for coming on and showing off your deck and the changes that you made. Do you have any other final words or shout outs?
Yeah, I want to shout out the guys back home. We call ourselves the Salties. We got 6 of us, and we're the guys that play in a lot of the events. I actually want to shout out our mutual friend Caleb too. We played in the finals on Sunday, and it was honestly he was playing Crossheart, and we had it was really intense. It was a nail biter there, but that was the finals. So shout out to Caleb.
Yeah, he DM'd me after you guys right after you guys played.
Yeah. So no, it was good, man. Push out to you. Thank you, man, for making great content. I'm sure we'll see each other at an event really soon.
Yeah, hopefully, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. Well, thank you so much, and if you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you all next time. Peace out.